Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael. Welcome to Gas and Gavel video channel. Today we are going to take a look at this 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. This 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S is finished in a Carrera white metallic with a Bordeaux red and black contrasting interior. The Porsche Taycan consists of three main trim levels. There's a base, and then the 4S that we see here, followed by the top of the line Porsche Taycan Turbo and Turbo S. The Taycan 4S is Porsche's mid-level entry for the Taycan electric sedan and wagon. It's a little bit more powerful than the base model Taycan, but it's not as powerful as the Turbo or Turbo S. It's right in the middle, a nice sweet spot for consumers. The Taycan 4S is currently offered in three variations. The first variation is the four-door sedan that you see here. The second is a sporty wagon called the sportturismo, and then there is a off-road version of this Porsche Taycan in wagon form called the crossturismo. And the crossturismo is essentially a lifted Taycan with extra plastic cladding on the side that will allow you to take your Taycan onto dirt and gravel roads, similar to a rally car. So again, three different variations: the sleek four-door sedan, and a lifted wagon, and a sleeker grand saloon / shooting brake called the sportturismo. So the Porsche Taycan 4S is offered with two battery options. The first is a standard performance battery, which is rated at 79 kilowatts of capacity, and that pushes out 522 horsepower. You can option for a bigger battery called the optional performance battery plus, which puts out 93 kilowatts of capacity, and that larger battery puts out a whopping 563 horsepower. So Taycan 4S, two engine options, small and bigger. The Taycan's two electric batteries, again, push out either 522 horsepower or 563 horsepower. All that power is routed to a two-speed auto transmission mounted to the front battery. Since this car has a battery in front and a battery in back, this car with its 500 plus horsepower puts all of that power down to all four wheels, making this car an all-wheel drive Porsche. The all-electric Porsche Taycan made its debut in 2019 and is currently running to today in its most current generation. So the name Taycan is essentially derived from essentially, if you look at Porsche's emblem right in front, there's a little what they like to call steed, I call horse. But again, Taycan essentially is a term for that horse in the crest. So yeah, that's where the name Taycan goes. So this is probably a very fast horse. It's powered by batteries. This Porsche Taycan 4S had original MSRP way back in 2020 at $105,000 without option. Again, that is the mid-level Taycan. The top-level Taycan costs about $60,000 to $80,000 more. But again, this is Porsche's mid-level offering, and when new, had MSRP of right about above $100,000. Let's begin the exterior tour of this 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S with the front end. So the Porsche Taycan 4S in this example comes with the optional, very cool Porsche, what they call dot matrix system optional headlights. So again, what's cool about this is that they come with these little blue, it looks like LED lights on top. Inside you have dot matrix LED headlights and taillights for high beams and low beams. And inside is very cool how the surrounding eyes have either blue LEDs or like blue lenses and a silver painted finish on each. So again, definitely very cool. And again, these are the optional, what Porsche calls, and there is a etching on the inside the headlights so that people know that you did option this. It's called Porsche LED Matrix System. So again, definitely does look like you're in the Matrix. Very cool futuristic headlights. Let's swoop over to the passenger side. Again, these are your passenger side headlights. Have a cool little blue flicker in them. I love how they're painted with a black housing with these silver trims. Again, these headlights definitely do not look like they're the standard headlights. They are adaptive, and again, they are LED, so they're definitely very bright, and they probably last a very long time. Very cool, and nicest design headlights of not just Porsche, but any sedan or sports car. Right in front, underneath the headlights, you do have these functional, you can definitely stick your finger in there, essentially front intakes. And from what I understand, these function to help, again, push air through there and provide downforce to the front end and possibly cooling to those huge, again, remember those huge, almost like 6-piston, huge, almost 20-inch calipers. Brake calipers. So again, these are functional. I do like how they have highlighted it with the flat black trim. Very nice. No fake grills here. You can especially see through here on this one, right through there. So again, with electric cars, it's definitely very important. They probably ran this through a wind tunnel multiple times, but definitely not only for front end downforce, but this probably also helps with, again, helping with electric car fuel efficiency. It probably makes this car a lot smoother in the wind tunnel, therefore decreasing drag and allowing for just a better or more mileage per charge. Definitely very cool. The front bumper does have these integrated bumper sensors to protect your unique, this is the optional, what Porsche likes to call sport design front bumper. This car is equipped with the optional sport design front bumper, side skirts, and rear bumper. So the sport design front bumper comes with this very cool, looks like flat painted front spoiler, and it kind of has like a double spoiler. It kind of starts with one, and then there's one that sticks out at the bottom. I love the different textures on it. Definitely very cool. It definitely sets you apart from all the other Porsche Taycans on the road. So again, this is optional equipment straight from Porsche. And I love the design. It's not too crazy, but it's aggressive enough to have people see that this is not no regular electric vehicle. On the sides of the bumper, you do have these blacked out side markers. Very nice. And again, right underneath all of that, you do have some technology there. There is a front-facing camera. Again, this car is equipped with 360 camera, so you do have a camera in front here that you can access from the multimedia system. And you can't forget the most important feature of the front end is the Porsche golden logo, right dead center. Now let's take a look at the wheel and tire package that comes with this specific Taycan 4S. And we're going to start with these really huge, what Porsche likes to call, and these are optional wheels. These are the 21-inch Mission E design wheels. And a little background, the reason why these wheels are called the Mission E design wheels is because when the Porsche Taycan came out as a concept car, the Porsche Taycan's concept car name was the Mission E design, and they have the same exact 5-spoke wheels with the body colored matched rim. So here Porsche has given us as an option when the actual production version came out. So these are again 21-inch Mission E design wheels, and you can get the outer rim basically exterior paint matched to your exterior paint for an extra $1,200. So very cool. These are like 5-spoke wheels with again that white rim and a shiny black center finish. The front wheels measure a 265/35 are huge 21-inch wheels. And if those wheels aren't big, if you look right behind it, they're equally almost as big, these huge white Porsche etched calipers. These are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 6 pistons in there, and these huge brake rotors, almost as big as these 21-inch wheels. So again, a very impressive brake package for a very impressive wheel and tire package. Again, great look, and again, these wheels are a great throwback to the birth of the Porsche Taycan way before 2019 in the concept car. Definitely very cool. I can't help but be so impressed with these huge calipers. It's pretty amazing. These are probably one of the largest brake and tire package brakes I've seen. Apart from Brembo, but again, very cool. So that's the front. Let's go our way to the back. Same thing we have back here. Again, we have that body colored matched rim with the contrasting black centers. You do have again your Porsche golden emblem in the center, and the rears have color matched with the Porsche name etched onto there. These are smaller, but again, these look like 1, 2, looks like 3 or 4, 2 or 4 calipers. Very cool, equally as impressive. And the rear tires are a little wider, 305/30 R21s. So again, great wheel and tire package option in this example of the Porsche Taycan 4S. What's unique about this car is that, unlike other electric cars, this car has a charge port on the driver's side fender, and there's another charge port on the passenger side. Definitely very convenient. I wish they had these for gas cars. How many times have I driven into a gas station and my gas tank was actually on the left side and I had to back it up and go onto the right side? Well, with this car, no matter how your charging station is set up, you have access from both sides to charge your Porsche Taycan. Definitely convenient, and I love just how symmetrical everything looks. And these charge ports are hiding another surprise, and the surprise is revealed using your finger. So if you see this little plastic piece right here, that's more than just for design. Basically, when you run your finger right there, the charge port opens right up for you. Definitely very cool. And when you're done charging, just go ahead and use your magical finger and it closes right up. And the same thing happens on the other side of the charge port. So again, very, very cool. Function, form, and convenience. I appreciate that, Porsche. Now, continuing on, you do have these bi-colored folding powered mirrors with, again, you do have side mirrors, cameras integrated right into it. I love the flat black bottoms pedestal with the, again, that metallic white paint. These are heated. And again, you do have access to side cameras in these. Very, very cool design. Scrolling on top, and this, what looks like a black painted roof, is not a black painted roof. It is actually a full glass panoramic roof that goes from the front driver's side and passenger side all the way to the back seat. That's a big panoramic roof. And this panoramic roof can be optioned as just a glass roof, or as a, well, I like to call it photovoltaic roof, where you can actually adjust the tint at the press of a button or a turn of a knob, and basically either make this completely clear or make it completely dark. Again, this particular 4S that we see here is just equipped with the standard panoramic roof that's just tinted. But again, if it gets too hot or you want to impress your friends, there is an option of, again, a photovoltaic roof where you can adjust the essentially the level of tint with the press of a knob or turn of a button. I love how the door handles of the Taycan are integrated into the doors. So here we have them open now, but when you lock up the car as such, they close right in. Let's see that again. Unlock and lock. So again, I love how they sit flush with the entire car, giving that sleek look of the coupe. Lock, unlock, lock, unlock, like little wings. Again, this provides very cool, sleek look when the those painted door handles are sitting flush with the and the Taycan agrees, sitting flush in those doors. I love how the hood doesn't need any sort of fancy vents. Not only because there's no battery or any engine up here to cool down or whatnot, but it has a very subtle, these two little muscular lines running right down the center hood. Just provides kind of like this really muscular look to just like what should be just like a flat hood, but again, it makes it look definitely very, very aggressive in the Porsche Taycan. These are your side windows. I really do love how the side windows kind of slope back like a coupe, and I'm really a big fan also of when manufacturers include like little pieces of see-through glass, like here this piece. They could have just been cheap and put a piece of black plastic there, but again, to allow just a little bit more light into the rear of the car and provide just a little bit more rearward visibility for the driver. These are actually small little glass pieces that you can see through. So again, definitely very cool window design. I love how from afar the four-door sedan Taycan looks essentially, if you squint, it essentially looks like a Porsche coupe, especially when you see this sloping hood line going all the way down. Very coupe-like, especially when I stay right here. This definitely looks very 911 Carrera-ish But again, we need to remind you that this is a Taycan. It has one handle, two handles, it has 4 doors, and it is a sedan with not a liftback, but a complete 4-door sedan trunk. The rear window has an integrated huge third brake light right from on top on a sloping roof. Scrolling down underneath that, approaching the rear end, you have your Porsche Taycan rear end. And we'll start the rear end tour with the what looks like a trunk, but it's actually not a piece of the trunk. This is actually the spoiler that electronically deploys at certain angles. Unfortunately, from what I understand, most other cars with electric spoilers allow you to press a button and keep this raised while parked, so you look fast while you're parked. This car does not allow for it. I'll definitely demonstrate it like in previous videos, but you can't do it. You have to go be a certain speed, and this whole thing raises up as a spoiler and goes back down as speeds decrease. So again, here's our electric spoiler. Very, very cool. Definitely very integrated, very clean. Just wish Porsche provided an option to manually open it so people can look cool. The rear taillights of the Taycan definitely follow the new design languages of the newest generation of all Porsches, with a light bar that goes straight across. And not only is there a light bar that goes straight across, the Porsche wording inside definitely looks like a piece or a part of the taillights that possibly light up. Again, this is no mere emblem. There is no Porsche emblem back here. It's essentially the Porsche name is integrated into the entire brake light. Right underneath that, you do have your blacked out badges of the Taycan 4S. So people know that this is no mere base Taycan. Definitely very cool. I love that surrounding the window, they have this really, really subtle black, shiny black painted window trim that goes all the way around, giving it a very, really aggressive, again, sporty race look. Matching that again, that panoramic tinted roof. All right, let's take a look at your front trunk or frunk of your Porsche Taycan. So in order to access that frunk, you can simply use your remote and click on the picture of the open front Porsche, and there you go. And in order to open it, there's a little red slot, little tab here that you want to press onto and then lift, and the whole thing is very light. It comes right open. Very cool. And here is your frunk of your 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. It's small, but it definitely looks cool though. And when you open the frunk, again, there's no motor, there's no battery in front. There's just a small storage space, and it looks like access to refill your windshield wiper fluid. But again, according to Porsche, the frunk is about 3 cubic feet of space. Not too big, but again, it's still usable. This person has chosen to put a small, looks like a small little carry-on luggage of a good size. Probably fit a backpack or two in there. Again, definitely very cool, very sleek, and very functional. And I love how there's always black plastic cladding with all this texture on it. Doesn't look cheap. Definitely very cool. Let's go around back to check out the trunk of your Porsche Taycan. And let's see how it compares. This car is also equipped with the sport design side skirts, and they feature essentially a contrasting flat black finish with a centered body color painted strip. Definitely very cool. Seems like it provides a more aggressive stance or appearance on the side. And that white strip definitely provides some sort of texture or contrast, providing a muscular look to the side profile of your Porsche Taycan. Again, these are optional sport design side skirts for your Porsche Taycan 4S sport design. All right, let's take a look at the rear trunk of the Porsche Taycan 4S. So again, in order to access the trunk, just like the front, you can use your remote, click on the powered trunk button, and the powered trunk opens right up electronically. Very, very cool. And again, this is a full trunk lid. It's not a hatchback. It's not a slope back. It is a complete, as if it's a four-door sedan trunk. No window there. Very, very nice. Inside is cladded in this nice black felt finish, top and bottom. You do have power buttons here in order to open and close it. There's a very cool 12-volt charger, very, very convenient for you to charge anything from the trunk. Very, very nice. That's a good option. I love how there's these metal protection plates. They look cool, but I'm sure they're pretty functional, allowing you to throw a heavy luggage on there without damaging the rear trunk of your Porsche. The rear trunk of your Porsche Taycan 4S measures 14 cubic feet of space. And I found a small little bonus storage space in the trunk. There's a little tab here, and if you give it a nice pull, the floor opens up and you can hide some sort of contraband down there if need be. But again, you have additional little small storage space that's hidden to store away your valuables or your contraband. Very, very cool, and it's hidden away. So again, here is your trunk of your Porsche Taycan. And an alternative to close it, again, you can just go ahead and press that button there, and the trunk will lower right down. Another really cool feature of the front fenders is that there's actually, it kind of looks like a wide body, but it's actually kind of vented with the door panel kind of contrasted inside, and inside there's like a little black vent inside. It may be functional, but again, whether it's not or it is, definitely a very cool angle from here. Definitely very subtle design detail. I love that. So this rear end of this Porsche Taycan 4S also features the sport design rear bumper, and it features this really cool, looks like a flat black rear diffuser right underneath. Definitely very, very aggressive, and I'm sure it provides some sort of aerodynamic or downforce to the rear end, but if not, it definitely provides a very aggressive race look to it. I love how integrated right into the diffuser there are these red parking lights left and right. Very, very cool. Definitely fits very well with the, again, sports car nature of this electric Taycan. The rear bumper also features parking sensors integrated into it, and also this red side light. And in order to open your trunk, there is this really cool square button here that you can go and press that, and it'll help you open the trunk of your Porsche Taycan 4S. Definitely very cool, and definitely very nice looking rear end of your 2020 Porsche Taycan. So let's go ahead and take a look at the key that you get when you purchase your Porsche Taycan 4S. And here it is. Here is your key to your Porsche Taycan. And what I really love about the Porsche key in general is if you look at the side of it, it definitely looks like a shape of your Taycan. So again, they're like twins. Very, very cool. I really like the design of this key and the weight of it. It is black plastic with this like shiny trim, but again, it doesn't feel cheap. It seems like they put a lot of thought and effort into it. And again, I love how they're matchy-matchy with their shape of your car. So again, on their key, you do have your, let's see here, you do have a Porsche logo embedded on the bottom. Very, very nice. You have a lock and unlock, and you have two trunks powered. So you have the front trunk and the rear trunk. Very cool. And right behind, you do have a emergency panic button. So again, very, very cool. And I think that this is one of the nicer keys that you get, matching an equally nice vehicle. So again, this is the key that you get when you do purchase your 2020 Porsche Taycan. Porsche Taycan 4S. Let's take a look at the interior of this 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. And as a reminder, this particular 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S is finished in a Carrera white metallic with a Bordeaux red and contrasting black interior. And here is your driver's side door panel of your 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. So you can definitely see that red leather contrasting with, again, that black leather stitching. There's an option to get a completely all red Bordeaux interior, but this again is the red with the contrasting black interior. Definitely it looks very, very rich. It feels very rich. And all the buttons have this very rich piano black finish to them. Very, very nice. So you have a door handle that matches the interior black leather, and then right next to it you have a shiny black piano buttons. This is to save your seating settings, and you have a lock and unlock. Underneath that you do have your door handle. Right next to your door handle you have the soft touch, again with that black shiny piano black finish of soft touch one touch windows. Underneath that you have your side mirror controls, and you're able to, again, you can actually tilt your mirrors up and down. So again, very versatile, all at the touch of your fingers. Very, very nice. That red and black definitely contrasts very, very well with that white metallic exterior paint. Scrolling over to the side, the door sills, you do have this silver embezzled Taycan 4S kind of skid protector. Definitely looks good, and also protects a door sill, the side sill, when you're getting in and out. Here you do have, again, these pedals may look simple. They are your accelerator, your footrest, and your brake. They may look simple, but this is no simple electric car. Unlike other electric cars that have one-touch accelerator where you step on the gas and it goes, and you let go and it brakes, this car, or this electric Taycan, operates much like an electric car, where if you go with the accelerator, you gotta stop with the gas. And all the regenerative braking occurs when you do hit that brake. Very, very nice. Very nice touch to differentiate from other electric vehicles. Porsche, there is no substitute. Scrolling out, let's take a look at these Bordeaux red seats. Again, very, very nice red color and design. So these red leather wrap seats are 8-way power adjustable. They are both heated and ventilated, so they look good and they also feel good. I'm sure there's an option of having the Porsche emblem embezzled on this, but this does not have it. But again, very comfortable race seat. A nice mix of comfort and sport. So again, they are 8-way adjustable, lumbar support, forward, backwards, up and down. So you can get your seating just right in your Taycan. Those red seats again contrast very, very well with, again, this red or this white exterior. Classic, very classic colors and designs. The driver's side door panels, or the door panels in general, do feature the Bose speaker system. Very, very cool. Now let's hop into the cockpit of your Taycan 4S. And here we are in the cockpit of your 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. Okay, let's light up some of these screens so you can get a better look at the cockpit of your 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. So again, everything's pretty much keyless. You have your key here. You just kind of drop it right here in the cup holder. And on to the left of the steering wheel, you do have your power button. So you can go ahead and hit the brake and then hold on to that power button. This may be an electric car, but you definitely do hear a little bit of something starting up. So here we have all the screens lit up. Let's start with the steering wheel of your 2020 Porsche Cayenne 4S. So you have a tri-spoke leather wrapped heated steering wheel, definitely very sturdy. All single one flat black color. And in the middle you do have your Porsche emblem, nice and front and center. Let's take a hear that horn. Nice and powerful. Very, very nice. You do have a Porsche voice control on the left hand side. And on the right, you can use this area to cycle through your instrument cluster screens. The steering wheel is definitely nice and comfortable, soft leather wrap, nice and supple. Very, very nice, and it's a pretty good good size. Behind the steering wheel to the right side, you do have your windshield wiper stock. This entire steering wheel is power tilted forwards and backwards using a button that is located way underneath the steering wheel column. So it tilts forward and backwards, up and down electronically. You do have adaptive cruise controls underneath here. And up here you do have your high beams and turn signals controls up and down to the left of the steering wheel, right back there. So the Porsche Taycan electric car definitely lives up to its electric name because again, there's so many electric screens here. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3, and your passenger even has his own, it's 4. You have 4 different electronic multimedia screens. Let's start with your instrument cluster, probably the most important one. So behind your steering wheel, you do have a 16.8-inch curved digital instrument cluster that displays every important thing about your car, from the your odometer to how many miles you have left, to your battery, to the navigation, to your speed, to your, and so on and so forth. Pretty much everything you need. Nice display, very, very huge, all digital and touchscreen. So for example, if you want to operate your lights, there are these touchscreen buttons on the side to turn on and off your headlights. Very, very cool. Again, you can change the instrument clusters with the different ways. So you can show navigation in the middle, or you can put information and change it to your battery life, and so on and so forth. There's a time, there's a little stock right there for your what gear you're in. Again, everything that you need in this curved 16.8-inch multimedia screen. Very nice. To the right of that 16.8-inch media screen, you do have a smaller 10-inch multimedia display where you can control not only your multimedia, but this essentially controls a majority of everything in your car. So for example, outside the rails and displays, I showed earlier that you can go to the vehicle and you can again adjust drive modes from here. So again, you can adjust your drive mode from normal to sport. You can adjust your suspension from like normal, sport plus. Again, you can also adjust the height of your Taycan. Again, you can adjust it by lowered, low, regular, and as you adjust, there's a little picture of your Taycan rising up and down. My favorite setting, of course, is always the lowest. And chassis, always Sport Plus. Normal mode, nope, Sport it is. So again, very, very cool. So not only can you control AM, FM radio, Sirius, your Apple iPhone, or your Android Auto, you can access your navigation and again, different vehicle dynamics in here. You can also adjust essentially different aspects about your car. For example, you can adjust the comfort, you can adjust ambient lighting in your car, you can adjust your driver's seat, how you want the heating and ventilated seats to be balanced. Again, so much more than a multimedia screen. But again, most of your car's controls are outside of instrument cluster fall in this 10.8-inch or 10.9-inch infotainment screen. And to add, I guess, further flair, you do have this again right underneath that 10.9-inch infotainment display. You have an 8.4-inch touchscreen. It looks like a mini iPad right underneath that. And this essentially is like a digital climate control. So again, here you can adjust all of your different features, creature comfort. So you have heated ventilated seats. You do have your AC controls up and down. Your passenger also has the same. My favorite button on the screen is actually has nothing to do with climate control. It has all to do with adjusting the sports setting. So again, essentially you can click this and go quickly into race mode in your car. So again, out of all these screens, that's probably my favorite. Your passenger has this display also, and his is also touchscreen too. So they're able to access not your driver controls, but basically your passenger can basically play DJ and access their phone, your phone, or again, anything that has to do with entertainment. So again, I call this kind of like the DJ screen. So again, your passengers in your Porsche Taycan get their own digital screen. Very, very cool. Very, very nice. Let's take a look at more of the analog features in the dash of your Porsche Taycan 4S. So if you notice, you do have these AC vents all throughout, but you cannot really adjust them any which way. There's no buttons or knobs. So apparently you have to go into this multimedia screen and adjust it digitally via that screen in order to adjust the angle of these vents. Pretty interesting, but I find it a little cumbersome. But again, I guess it hides a lot of extra buttons that Porsche wouldn't really need. But again, haven't seen that before, where the climate control is pretty much controlled by Skynet. Right between the vent, you do have your emergency light just in case things happen. Nice and simple. Scrolling on down, you do have your little Taycan emblem here to let people know, and your passengers know, and yourself as a reminder that you are in your electric Porsche Taycan. Your drivers and passengers are treated to not one, but two cup holders, and one is wrapped in that rich red leather. Very, very interesting. Very, very sturdy. You can definitely fit small cups, big cups, tumblers. But again, this electric Porsche definitely wants to make sure that you stay hydrated, you and your passengers. And all this is again wrapped in that beautiful red Bordeaux red leather with that contrasting black. leather. Very, very nice. Looks very, very extended leather. Nothing looks cheap. Everything looks very rich. I think it's a great color choice. Right underneath the DJ screen, your passenger does have access to this red leather wrapped lockable glove compartment for extra storage. Of course, your passenger does have that also 8-way adjustable leather wrap seat. Heated, ventilated, all ways, which ways. You have your rear view mirror. Right on top of your rear view mirror, you do have your interior dome control lights. And there's this nice, it's not suede, but it's kind of like a soft, kind of foamy material. It feels nice. And then surprise, you have this huge panoramic, all glass, panoramic tinted roof. Again, very, very cool. Definitely opens up the interior. Lots of light into this interior. Definitely makes this car look very electronic and futuristic. And I do want to note that there is an option. This one doesn't have it. This one's just tinted and it stays this color no matter what you do. And there is no sunshade at all to cover it. This is what you get. But there is an option, a factory option, to get a version of this. I think it's called a faux chromic roof glass, where there's a button here. And as you press a button, it immediately becomes darker or lighter depending on how you click it. So again, yeah, you definitely probably want that on a hot day, but if you get the standard version, like what's here in the Taycan 4S in this example, the shade is what you get. So again, according to Porsche, they said that the standard panoramic roof with a tint is supposed to keep out most of the heat anyways, so that's the reason why they didn't put the screen. But as you see in a test drive later, that may be a little bit lie in Porsche, because it does get pretty hot, especially here in Southern California. But it definitely looks cool though, so it's great, very futuristic, and I think a lot of different electric cars have a panoramic roof, such as the Lucidair. I think it really does add a very futuristic electric type of vibe to the car. Very, very nice. Right underneath the door handles of your Porsche Taycan, you do have a little bit of storage space right down there for, it looks like a bottle of water or maybe your wallet or your keys. So again, a little bit of storage there for front seat passengers and yourself. All right, let's take a look at the rear seats of your 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. Unlock that up, and let's see what your rear seat passengers are treated to. And these are the rear seats of your 2020 Porsche Taycan. Definitely very cool, definitely very different. They look like race bucket seats. So again, you have that red leather wrapped inside. In the back here, it seems like there's only 2 seats, and there is only 2 seats. And it seems like the back seat backrests are essentially molded. So the rear of that, again, compartment, definitely very cool. It looks very race seat like. Can't wait to sit down and see what it feels like. Your passengers, again, are treated to that same red leather, red and black leather. Mimicking the front, they have their door handle with that piano black trim. Their soft touch window up and down, and of course their Bose speaker and a little storage compartment for them. Definitely very cool, very, very nice. Now let's see what it feels like to sit in these cool Taycan back seats. And here we are. So again, let's close this up. Pretty comfortable. Definitely a lot of headroom. I think there's a lot of headroom here because again, you have this huge glass panoramic roof that just again just opens up not only like the light in there, but also like allows you to have again a lot of headroom. It's just really, really nice, considering it didn't seem like there would be, since like again this Porsche Taycan has a kind of like a coupe profile where the rear glass curves down, so you would think that you lose a little bit of headroom, but you don't. This glass roof definitely allows for just a lot of space. Very, very nice. Really, really do like that. The seats are super comfortable. These are the nicest looking rear seats I've seen, and very, very sporty. I love how it's kind of molded into the car, very similar to like you know, like maybe like a McLaren W1 seats. Very, very cool. And they are very, very comfortable. Actually, the back is actually very, very comfortable. They may be, the back seats may be a little bit more comfortable than the front seats. I like the snuggy back of the this curvy area here. Again, very, very nice. Your backseat passengers are treated to not only that huge panoramic roof looking up to the sky, but they also have their own climate control down here. And what's this? Oh, the back seats are also heated. Very, very nice. So they have their own AC vents, top, bottom, and their own heat in case it gets cold. Very, very cool. They have a little storage tray back here also, another storage tray here, and they do have an armrest with 2 cup holders. So your rear seat passengers can also stay hydrated. Very nice. You can roll that up. I do want to make a note for people at the Taycan who may need maybe one more seat. There is an option for a bench seat that allows for a seating of 3 in the back. This one doesn't have it, but again, there is an option to add an extra seat in the middle. But I think it just looks totally cooler with these 2 bucket seats. But again, if you have a family, big family, or extra kid or extra cat or extra dog, and you need an extra seat, there is an option in the Taycan for again, extra bench seating in the back for 3. And again, very roomy. Definitely enough room for your head and your feet and your legs. So again, this particular Taycan will definitely fit 4 adults very comfortably, big heads and all. And that is the back seat of a Porsche Taycan 4S. All right, let's begin the test drive of this 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. So in order to start the car, you usually have your key. As long as it's in the car, it is a keyless entry. You just put your foot on the brake and you hold onto the power button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. And since this is an electric car, you don't really hear anything, but basically the screen will light up and it'll tell you that the car is powered up and ready to go. And in order to shift it into gear, you put your foot on the brake, and to the right of the steering wheel, there is the little knob right next to your park button. That little toggle, again, is your shifter, or your shift knob essentially, and you shift it down for drive and up for reverse. Very, very straightforward and clean integration. So as any other car review video, first thing I always do is where is that sport or that race button? And in this car, you do have a sport button located right in the center console on the bottom screen that says sport. You can also go into the middle screen here, which is the multimedia screen, and go to the part where it says vehicle. And this allows you to essentially adjust all these multiple driving modes. So for example, there's a drive mode called sport, and you can adjust the suspension, the chassis. So there's like different settings: normal, sport, sport plus. I've already set it to sport plus, which is the most aggressive. And there's also this cool part where there's a chassis height. So you can either raise your car, keep it regular or lowered, or this, my favorite option was low, the lowest. And there's a little picture of the Taycan right next to it to show you how high or low your suspension is. And lastly, there is the option to turn off the regenerative braking. It's up to you if you want to do that, but my point is that there is a driving mode in this car called Sport Plus, and again, they're all adjustable. But for me right now, I put it onto the most aggressive settings because that's just how I do things. So here we go, and again, to put it into drive, you just shift down to the shift knob, this little toggle down to D, and then you're ready to go. So one of the first things I really appreciate about Porsche's Taycan is that unlike other manufacturers that have electric cars, such as I'll put the link at the bottom of this video description of this video for next time, but when I reviewed the new Dodge Challenger EV with their fake exhaust noise piped into the car, again, what I love about the Porsche Taycan is that the Porsche accepts what the Taycan is. The Taycan is an electric car They don't try to put any sort of like gimmicks or gadgets or fake noises. This car is pure electric, battery powered, and it is whisper quiet. No fake exhaust here, and I appreciate that. Porsche takes their consumers seriously, and they don't try to trick their audience or have all these corny gimmicks. So that's what the first thing I really appreciated about Porsche's Taycan. The second thing I loved about the Porsche Taycan was the acceleration. So we can all agree that most electric cars, no matter whether they come from Porsche or Hyundai or Honda, if a electric car is powered by a battery, they're usually essentially instant torque monsters. How Porsche sets apart their electric vehicles is that yes, the battery may perform similar to any other electric car battery, but it's everything else that Porsche integrates into the Taycan from its gas-powered vehicles that makes the largest difference. So all that race heritage that Porsche has gathered throughout the decades, they've applied to the suspension, they've applied to the brakes, to the calipers. They've studied race cars in the wind tunnel and applied it to this this Taycan. So for example, in the front of this Taycan, on the sides, there are side inlets that allow air to channel through to increase downforce in the front, and also provide cooling to those huge brakes in front of the Taycan. The materials used in the interior, from the steering wheel that you're touching to the seat that you're sitting on. Porsche has realized that this car is not just an electric car, it is a Porsche, and I truly believe that most manufacturers take a battery and stick it in a car and they call it an electric vehicle, whereas this is a Porsche in all sense of the word. The only difference is that it's missing a gas motor, and it's in its place a nice, quiet, environmentally friendly battery that you can charge in the convenience of your own home. So that's what I love about that straight off the bat, is that it's more than just a battery. Porsche has basically integrated everything else that makes a Porsche great and created a true driving experience. I am not driving an electric car right now. I am driving essentially a Porsche. So what I really love about this car is that unlike other electric cars that maybe operated by one pedal, this car essentially requires you to drive it like a gas vehicle, where if you want to slow down, you can't just release the accelerator, you have to step on the brake. So again, although this car is an electric car, and most other people who drive electric cars expect to have like one pedal driving, where you step on the brake and it goes, and you step on the accelerator and it goes, and then you let go of the accelerator and it slows down. This is not what happens to this car. You need to press the brake on it. So traditional electric cars usually regenerate their battery a little bit from that letting go of the accelerator, but the Porsche does it differently. Every time you hit the brake in the Taycan, it helps regenerate energy to your battery. So again, what I appreciate about what Porsche did was that they tried to make this electric vehicle drive like a internal combustion Porsche. Another thing I really like about the Porsche Taycan is not only the feel of the steering wheel, it's just the feel of the steering. It feels very like you're connected to the road. It doesn't feel floaty. There's just a lot of just real driving feeling into it, even though again, I'm sure it's powered, but again, it's not so overpowered where your steering feels like where you feel disconnected from the road. I feel very connected to the road. I feel like every time I turn a wheel, it just goes. I'm a part of the road It doesn't feel floaty at all. I can feel some of the vibrations from the road. And again, like I said, it's just really good road feel in the steering. So handling, I would give, this is the Porsche Taycan 4S. I would probably say I'd give this handling of this car a 8 out of 10. It has great handling. It takes these curves very, very well, especially with the help of, again, those 2 electric batteries that give this car essentially 4-wheel drive. So you are, all 4 tires are gripping onto the road. But what I do notice is that when you do push the extreme of, I guess, corner carving in your Porsche Taycan, the biggest issue is that I do notice at the peak of, I guess, pushing the limits of the suspension, there is a noticeable body lean. I wish that Porsche would have tightened up the suspension of the 4S just a little bit more, or maybe added like a roll bar or 2 at the bottom, because again, like I said, with all this torque in this 500 plus horsepower electric battery, when you push it to its limit, you can definitely feel the sway of the body. So again, it doesn't instill full confidence when you're pushing this car to the limit. So I'm curious if maybe the Porsche Taycan Turbo or Turbo S maybe has a little stiffer suspension. But either way, or maybe it's because this car is equipped with the optional 21-inch sport design wheel, and maybe going with a smaller wheel or different tire package. But nonetheless, again, handling's great when you're not pushing it to the limit, but it does get, you do feel a little bit of notice of body lean when you are at the limits of the extreme limits of the acceleration through these corners. But either way, I mean, if you're driving normally, it's pretty enjoyable. There's not much body lean, but again, push it too hard and you definitely feel it. The brakes on this car, amazing, amazing, amazing. I believe that this car was equipped with the carbon ceramic brakes. So again, you press a little too hard and you're liable to slide forward. So this car's kind of funny. It reminds me of going through, like, I'm in a roller coaster. Every time I step on the electric accelerator, you know, with that electric motor, you're getting that instant torque that's pushing you back in your seat. And every time you slow down with those big, powerful carbon ceramic brakes, you're literally sliding forward in the seats. I mean, these are bucket seats, but again, I'm just sliding forward and backwards. So I can't imagine if these seats had any less support. But again, it just feels pretty hilarious. I feel like I'm in a rowboat every time I go forward, and like right now I'm slowing down, going forward. I'm literally, my body is like, because the acceleration is so powerful now, and the braking is so powerful, I'm just going back and forth. It's a fun feeling, but I get a little dizzy after a while. But again, yeah, so overall, brakes 10 out of 10. They'll definitely slow you down when need to. Acceleration, so this car accelerates, it's very, very fast. I can tell you right now that with all 4 wheels running on that ground, it is pretty powerful, I would say. So interior comfort, these seats are definitely very comfortable. As far as holding you in place, they are definitely, they get the job done. My only issue is, again, I'm not sure if it's because of the type of material or the type of leather that this car is optioned with. It seems to me that it's a lot slippier than leather, so I'm not really sure if what the case is. I would imagine that when I described earlier the sliding back and forth with the acceleration and then the chomping down on the more powerful brakes, I'm sliding around. But I imagine if instead of using this leather, they use some sort of more like Alcantara or like suede, maybe that'll grip us into the seat more. So again, comfort-wise, it's great, but I do find myself sliding around in this seat no matter what type of pants material I'm wearing right now. So what I love about this car is that again, it's an electric vehicle, but it drives like a Porsche gas car, just without the gas engine. And the only complaint I can have about it as far as driving goes is that as a car enthusiast, it feels odd when I'm accelerating and I'm not hearing the burps and gurgles from a variable like titanium exhaust or something in the rear. And for me, that's what I really enjoy most about cars and any cars in general, is that you know, the first modification I ever do for any car that I ever get is exhaust and then wheels. There's something just really enjoyable about getting just like a really fun exhaust and just gassing and accelerating and hearing those pops and gurgles, whether you're driving around town or hitting the freeway. There's just something really enjoyable about that. So again, the only thing I miss about in this Taycan was just, again, those pops and gurgles from just a really loud exhaust with so forth. But I understand you know, what Porsche is doing. Another complaint that I have is this is a 2020 Porsche with the panoramic roof, and there's no shade or covering on it. It's just there, and I can tell you right now that this thing gets pretty damn hot, pretty darn hot. And there is an option for a panoramic roof where you can actually adjust the I guess the shade or the darkness of the panel roof here. Let me go pull over and show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you look up here at this panoramic roof here, let me try to get into the sun here. So if you see this, the sun is like essentially baking down on me right now, and you know, even with the AC on, it gets pretty hot after a while. Again, there is an option, and in the newer Porsche Taycans there is I guess it's like photochromic panoramic roof where you can press a button and it just becomes completely dark or completely light. Again, if you have the option, probably get that, because this thing gets pretty hot. I live in California and LA in the summer. Right now it's almost mid-July, and yeah, it gets pretty way up there. So so yeah, just be aware of that. That's something to take notice of. And the last thing I want to make comments about is again, I should have put this first, but again, I am a gas car enthusiast, you know, experimenting right now with electric vehicles. And I think that what any electric vehicle person always wants to talk about is like range, how much range you get. You know, the Teslas or Lucids are getting like 200, 300, 400, 500 miles per charge. And you know, the Porsche Taycan 4S, or most of the Porsche Taycans in general, regardless of trims, they get around 200 miles per charge. And to electric car people, that's actually very low. And I understand that. And I think the qualms about the low range with a Porsche Taycan has more to do with a feeling than rather actually like, oh, I need that, you know, extra 100 miles of range in the car. 200 is too low. I don't know anyone who really needs to drive like more than 100 miles per day or in between charges. I think it just comes down to more of the fact that when a person buys an electric car, their primary concern is again, like you know, how far can I get, and do I have extra reserve so I don't have to feel that range anxiety. So again, I just feel like people buy this car and see the 200 miles of range, it just creates a feeling of just uncomfortableness, and they just want a little bit more. So again, if you're prone to range anxiety, then you might want to maybe spring for a Lucid or a Tesla instead, because again, the Porsche, regardless of which battery and which model you take, it doesn't have that high of a range compared to most other electric vehicles. But it probably does a lot better than any other gas car or Porsche. So again, This car is great to enjoy around town, but it's best to be enjoyed on roads that we see here. I am here on Angeles Crest Highway, and again, this car. I hope you guys enjoyed the test drive of this 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. Now let's go over some pros and cons of this Porsche Taycan 4S. The first biggest pro of the, yep, I heard ya, the first pro of the 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S is most definitely it's the nicest looking electric car. And not only is it the nicest looking electric car, it is the only electric car that has a huge racing pedigree. It most definitely looks a lot better than the Tesla, the Lucid. So the Taycan is set up like a race car. The batteries are placed very low on the floor in the middle and the rear of the car, giving it almost like a 50-50 weight distribution, like a mid-engine Porsche or a mid-engine Ferrari. Porsche didn't just take a bunch of batteries and stick it wherever they go. They used their race car knowledge and their knowledge from building the gasoline-powered Porsches and applied it to the Taycan. Where can we put it best to give it the best weight distribution? And they put it exactly at a place where, again, this car has almost perfect 50-50 weight distribution for amazing handling despite those heavy batteries. So any manufacturer can stick a bunch of powerful batteries on four wheels and call it an electric vehicle. And we can all agree that battery-powered electric vehicles, they're all fast, no matter whether they come from Hyundai, whether they come from Porsche, or they come from Tesla or Lucid. An electric car just has that powerful, instant torque, and they're all fast when you step on the gas. So I really feel that to differentiate yourself, electric vehicle manufacturers need to work on all the other elements that's not the electric battery. So the suspension, the aerodynamics, the wheel and tire package, the transmission setup, the materials used, everything. Again, and what Porsche does is they've taken all their racing pedigree, all they've learned from winning all those championships at the track, and applied it to this electric vehicle. This car is a Porsche that's powered by a battery, while other electric cars are simply electric cars that are powered by batteries. Again, the styling elements and the reason why the Taycan biggest pro is the styling is, again, all these elements from the other Porsche models are integrated and applied straight into the Taycan. And then underneath the exterior, all the underpinnings of all the other gasoline powered Porsches are integrated into this Porsche Taycan. I need to remind everybody that the Porsche Taycan accelerates as fast as the Carrera GT and does the quarter mile equal to, if not faster, than the gas-powered Carrera Turbo. So again, this car looks like a sports car, behaves like a sports car, and looks like an exotic / sports car. And that is the biggest pro. I feel that the Taycan is essentially the best looking electric vehicle that you can buy on the market today. So the next biggest pro / con, depending how you look at it, is price. So I'm reviewing this car in the year 2020. This model here is essentially a early model Taycan 2020 model, and essentially, if you look at the used car market, you can find a pretty good lightly used example nowadays for almost half off MSRP. So for example, the 4S MSRP started in 2019 at about 100,000. You can now buy a pretty good example of a used Taycan with very low miles for right around 65 to 60,000. That's almost half off of MSRP. And that's just the way the entire EV market is going. It seems like all electric vehicles, the residual values are dropping dramatically. Again, this Taycan was barely released maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and the values have already halved. And the same thing is happening to Teslas and alike. So again, depending on which side of the coin you're on, it's a big pro if you're buying this on the used car market at half off and letting someone else eat the depreciation, or it could be a big con if you actually bought this again at a full MSRP. And that's unfortunate that happens, but that's a risk that people take when diving into new automotive technologies like electric vehicles. But at least they got to enjoy it first before anyone else got to enjoy it on the road. But again, the biggest pro is that the Porsche Taycan's depreciation makes it a really, really good value in the used car market now in 2025. So one of the biggest cons with the Porsche Taycan falls in the realm of essentially range. The range of the Taycan and the Taycan 4S in general fall within a realm of about 200 miles from full charge to empty, falling far below the rivals such as Tesla. So for myself, I don't really know anyone who really needs to drive more than 200 miles per day. Again, I don't think that people's qualms about a low range in an electric car has to do with actually utilizing those miles. I think it just all comes down to something called range anxiety. I think anyone who has an electric car, their biggest worry is running out of electricity, and they prefer that that advertised 500 miles per charge, so that people know that they have like that extra reserve. So again, I think it just comes down to more than a feeling. I don't think that people really need to drive more than 200 miles per day. But if you do, and you don't want to sit around and worry about your range anxiety, you might want to look at a different vehicle that's not the Porsche Taycan, or option for the Porsche Taycan with either the bigger battery with a little bit more charge and range, or again, seek out other electric vehicle competitors such as Lucid or Tesla. So again, the biggest con of the Porsche Taycan is, again, what every electric car buyer is asked about is the first question is, how many miles can I get from a full charge? I hope everyone enjoyed this review of this 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. If you guys enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel. We truly do appreciate your support, and tune in next week for more exciting, enthusiast, and exotic and sports car reviews.